We can certainly hear the good times coming in that piece. Here is a little bit from composer Anne Phillips.
Well, I'm very fortunate that I have never done anything but music. And I mean, when I was in high school, I played piano for a dancing class and got paid for it. And after that, I went to Oberlin and as a singer, uh, auditioned for the big band and I got that. And then they gave me a weekly radio show on WOBC. Uh, my uh, maiden name was Dinsmore, so it was Dinny Dinsmore Sings.
So, are you mostly primarily a jazz musician, or do you work in other genres as well? Or?
I've done so much because a woman named Monica Hart, who had an opera company, heard some of my songs and asked me to write a jazz opera, a 10-minute opera. And I've written about four of those now, five, I guess, um, that have been done all over the States.
Um, I actually was really kind of surprised and excited to find out that Good Times Comin' hasn't really been played on its own before.
That's right.
That's
It
cool.
was I wrote it as um, a part of a show. It was a play with music called Panhandle, which was about the Dust Bowl and the men leaving for California, leaving their wives behind to see if they could find good times coming because the Dust Bowl era was so bad.
Hmm.
But there were several interesting things that happened. The show never did get to Broadway,
Hmm.
but it did have a long, I think it was 16 performances, but that was it. And
Okay.
then I used my rag, which I loved, every time I was testing a new piano anywhere.
Oh, okay, that's your piece. That's your go-to piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of those myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's great because like I can hear in the music the good times coming. It just I mean it so clearly says that in the music. It's,
I did write a whole lyric for choral, for choir.
oh, there's lyrics for the complete piece.
Hmm.
Oh,
I have to dig them out.
yeah.
But there are a couple of interesting stories about it because at the first rehearsal, and I played my rag, this man came running over to me and said, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, I wrote it." He said, "Oh, I thought it was a Scott Joplin that no one had ever heard." Well, that couldn't have been the nicer thing to say.
So,
I have another funny, interesting story to tell you about Panhandle because we did this Screen Actors Guild or whatever it was, presentation for about a week, 2 weeks. And then that was sort of the end of it. And one of the things that I was involved in was picking the actors because some of them had to sing and so forth. And I also needed a really good bluesy harmonica player. Well, there were two actors that were auditioning for it. But there was one that really played really bluesy harmonica, and that was the sound I need. So I had a real kind of just serious discussion with the director because he said, "Oh, the other guy is so much better actor." And I said, "No, but this is the guy I need because that's the sound I need." Well, some years later, I was watching The Tonight Show, and this very famous actor got up and he started playing harmonica. I said, "Oh my God." And I ran into my filing cabinet and I got out the program from Panhandle. Bruce Willis.
what?
Yes,
Bruce Willis was your harmonica player
yes.
for
And
16 shows off Broadway?
yeah, and the funny thing is that I did see him after the show. He was rollerblading over on Sixth Avenue. I said, "Hi, Bruce, how are you?" He said, "Hey, I got a movie out of that play." And I said, "Great, have a great life." Oh no, there, but Panhandle, we got Bruce
So
Willis.
his harmonica skills and his panhandle kicked off the career in Bruce.
Yes.
That's lovely. I love that.
You never know.
You never know. That's wonderful. That's a keeper. Amazing.